It looks like a new PlayStation 4 Battle Royale game is coming from a very familiar studio. Square Enix is looking to top the original Final Fantasy VII with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And we also want to go over 2 brand new PlayStation 4 game releases coming this week. We'll talk about those new games at the end of this video. First, we've been talking quite a bit about Housemarque, a studio that's created some of the best PlayStation 4 games, at least the best PlayStation downloadable titles. They've created games such as Super Stardust HD, Dead Nation, Resogun, arguably the best PlayStation 4 launch title. Recently, they also put out Matterfall as well as Nex Machina, and all of those games have a similarity in that they were more arcade-style experiences, but they are stepping away from that. They said this, quote, "Right now we are saying it is multiplayer. It's a very competitive environment, specifically with those types of titles. How can you even compete? We know what we do, and we've been making something for quite a while. Hopefully it will be able to compete." And Housemarque have announced their new game, and it looks like it could be a new Battle Royale game. They announced Storm Divers with a very interesting teaser trailer that showcased some futuristic settings, although you couldn't take too much away from the trailer. They said this, quote, "We hope when people pick it up, they start feeling good. We want there to be adrenaline. We want them to be moving. We want them to be really getting into it. A fast experience where you have to go outside and take a breather from it. Couple that with visual flair. You play Resogun, you see all this stuff exploding and going off. That's what we're bringing into the multiplayer. This is a Housemarque take." And as far as the release for Storm Divers, they have been working on the game for 2 years, and they haven't ruling out a possible release by the end of the year, saying hopefully still this year, but maybe to be cautious, we shouldn't say it's going to be this year. He just said to keep an eye out. So while Storm Divers is yet another Housemarque game, it does seem like that they are content with keeping Housemarque fundamentals alive in the game, such as the flashy visuals and different presentation elements, so hopefully this game still has that Housemarque spirit intact. Now, it wasn't absolutely confirmed that this is a Battle Royale title, but all indications based on how they're describing the game, as well as the title of the game and the trailer itself, all of the indications lead it to being a Battle Royale game. Housemarque is a very talented studio, and hopefully they make this transition smoothly. Moving on from that, let's talk more about the Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game that we're all super excited for. This is a game we've wanted going back over a decade, but it's a game maybe Square Enix announced all too early, because since the original wave of information in 2015, we haven't heard much about the game. However, there was a recent job listing by Square Enix that has revealed some additional information in what the company is trying to achieve with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. According to the ad, the development team behind the remake is pushing towards a, quote, "new creation that is larger than just a conventional remake with a full-scale development stage." And they also said that the ultimate goal is to produce a game that is, quote, "a game that exceeds the original of Final Fantasy VII." The job listing itself is for a battle planner, and you'll be working on things such as the game's combat system and designing enemies and various bosses, setting up the parameter of the game's environment. Square Enix themselves described the game as a new Final Fantasy with action elements added to traditional strategies. So if you remember the original Final Fantasy VII, it had more of a slower paced turn-based style of gameplay. Based on the footage we've seen thus far with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, it does seem like more of a shift to action-oriented combat, which will turn some people off, but to engage a new audience of gamers, personally, I do think this is the right move. Who knows when the Final Fantasy VII Remake will be released? Honestly, if you're expecting to play this game this year, you are completely out of your mind. This year, hopefully, we finally get Kingdom Hearts 3, and even that, I'm not sure about. 2019, maybe we'll see the remake, maybe we'll see Episode 1, but honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be all too shocked if the remake is shifted to a PlayStation 5 title. But hey, at least it looks like Square Enix is trying to surpass their creation with the original, so you have that. And finally, to wrap up this video, we do want to talk about 2 upcoming new PlayStation 4 game releases this week. First up, we have a very interesting game in the Swords of Ditto, being published by Devolver Digital and developed by 1Bit Beyond. The Swords of Ditto is an action RPG played from a top-down perspective. You take control of a randomly generated hero character, and you have to defeat various enemies known as Mormo within a certain window. The game has pretty cool presentation, and it will be releasing on April 24th. And then also a game that's seeing a PlayStation 4 release is Death Road to Canada, a very charming RPG with a great pixel art style. This has been available on PC for a while. It didn't gain all too much attention, but it does seem like those that played it really enjoyed it. It released at 14 $14.99. And as far as the game's description goes, Death Road to Canada is a randomly generated road trip simulator. You control and manage a car full of jerks as they explore cities, recruit weird people, argue with each other, and face gigantic swarms of slow zombies. The game touts that it's built for replay value and that everything is randomized: locations, events, survivor appearances, and personalities. There's a different story every time you play it, set in a world that doesn't take itself all too seriously. Death Road to Canada will be released on April 25th. So that concludes this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about the possibility of Housemarque creating a brand new Battle Royale game? Housemarque has been one of the staple PlayStation studios, and while they aren't a first-party studio, their games are synonymous with PlayStation, so let's hope for the best with Stormdivers. What do you think about the Final Fantasy VII Remake attempting to exceed the original? Do you think that's possible? Or do you think this game is never even coming out? I mean, we've been waiting for a while, and at this point, I think most of us know how ambitious Square Enix projects go. And also, let us know your thoughts on the new game releases this week. Are you picking up either the Swords of Ditto or Death Road to Canada? Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.